I don't think it really matters what size you are. I think we all have body hang-ups, and when it comes to the summer and thinking about what we want to wear, we all have things, parts of our body that we might feel more comfortable showing off and parts that we would maybe rather cover up. For me personally, anything above the knee is a no, and anything that particularly hugs my belly. I find summer quite tricky. Whilst I get really inspired by floaty and colourful fabrics, as a plus size lady, I want to wear things that are going to make me feel comfortable in the heat, but also are going to make me feel good and make me feel confident. So with that in mind, here are a few things that I have sewn so far that you might like to sew as well. First up is the True Bias Mauve skirt. This is the 4th version of this skirt that I have made, so it is a tried and true pattern for me. I absolutely love it. The fabric is this beautiful tie-dye floaty viscose that was in the SewHayleyJane April classic box. I love it. It's so floaty. This fabric is particularly floaty for a viscose. Viscoses come in different sort of thicknesses, but this one is really light and floaty, so it is perfect for the summer. The True Bias Mauve skirt comes in 2 size brackets, a 0 to 18 and a 14 to 30. So there's quite a lot of sizes that it spans, which is amazing. For me, I made mine 20 at the waist and then graded out to a 24 at the hips. This is a maxi skirt with gathers, so there's a lot of room to play around with anyway, but I just wanted a little extra room in the hips. My waist is a bit narrower than my hips are, so that's why. There's also different versions you can do. You can do just a plain skirt without any gathers. You can add 1 tier, you can add 2 tiers. So there's lots of different versions of playing around with. The waist has a thick 1-inch wide elastic that goes through it, which you then sew the elastic. You do 4 sets of zigzag stitches to keep the elastic from twisting. And I also really love the look. I think it just makes it all come together really nicely. There's not really much else to say about this skirt. It is a gathered maxi skirt. It is super comfortable in the summer. It hits me right at my sort of narrowest part of my waist, which I love, and then I just tuck in a t-shirt, but sort of billow it out a little bit as well. Looks really nice with a denim jacket over as well for the evening or slightly cooler days. So yeah, it's just a great skirt, and I would recommend this skirt to anyone who's looking for a maxi skirt pattern. Next up is this absolute beauty. I am in love with this dress despite having some fallings out with it. It is the Friday Pattern Company Hughes Dress, made in this stunning Lady McElroy viscose that we had in February's luxury SewHayleyJane boxes, and it was a colourway that was specifically designed for us and our boxes. Oh my gosh, it is beautiful. It's this gorgeous blue with little flowers all over. I'm so in love with it. Now, the Hughes dress is a pattern that I bought, I think about a year ago with a different fabric in mind. I really loved it. Every version that I've seen I've thought was absolutely beautiful. But when I got the pattern, I was slightly put off because, now this is going to be quite hard to explain. They have 2 size brackets like the True Bias Mauve, but they don't cross over. So it comes in an extra small to an extra extra large, or a 1X to a 7X. So it does span a really wide range of sizes, which is amazing. However, of course, I have to be difficult, don't I? So my bust falls at the larger end of the smaller size band, and my waist and hips fall at the smaller end of the larger size band. Now, it was really tricky. So I was like, eventually I was like, I need to do this pattern. I need this dress in my life. I had a vision of it in this fabric and it was going to be beautiful. And I do shy away from fitting quite a lot, from anything that needs more fitting. But I decided my New Year's resolution was to go for it. And I did 2 or 3 toiles of the bodice. I did a toile of the XXL, which fitted my bust beautifully, but was far too tight on my waist. Then I made the 1X bodice, which was huge. The sleeves were down here, the bust was massive, but of course it fitted my waist perfectly. So the pattern is this lovely scoop neckline, and then it's got Viennese seams, which means they're kind of like princess seams, but instead of coming from the shoulder, they come from the armhole. So I decided to try and smush the two bodices together, which was quite hard because the bodice block for the larger size is a slightly different shape and obviously a different size to the smaller block. So I had to do a lot of botching. It was kind of botched together, and it luckily has finally worked out. So I made this a couple of months ago, and then I just got so cross with it that it went in the naughty corner until I eventually got round to finishing it and hemming it. Thank God I did, because it's just so beautiful. But I've tried to go through all the pattern pieces. There are so many pattern pieces to try and remind myself of what I did. And I think what I did was I used the larger bodice size for the side panels, and then the smaller bodice size for the center panels on the back as well, and then kind of made them work. So I had to add a little bit of extra length to one of them. I had to bring in the armhole, the arm seam, but I did that, and then because it doesn't quite fit, I've had to add, you can't see it, but I had to add a tiny little triangle of fabric just here because the back shoulder was narrower than the front shoulder. So like I said, this is a complete botch job. And I don't think I would make it again because I just don't think I could remember if I got out all the pattern pieces, and I stupidly didn't write down everything that I ended up doing. And this was like 3 months ago now. So, but I have this dress and it is beautiful and it is perfect and I love it so much. The other thing that I changed obviously was to add these balloon sleeves. So I took the sleeve pattern for the dress, kept this bit, the top, and then I just extended it down straight and then added a bit of elastic at the bottom. And I love it so much. It's so, so beautiful. But yeah, what a mission. The other thing to note is the pockets. So because this is a viscose, I'm not going to put anything in the pockets because it's just going to drag it down. But I have found that the pockets kind of droop down a little bit. So what I have literally done today, as I was ironing it, I added a little strip of interfacing inside the pocket, and hopefully that will stop it from drooping down a little bit. So yeah, I love it. I probably won't make it again. If your sizing fits in one of the size bands, then I would absolutely go for it. I would make it again. But trying to merge the two together was not so much fun. But I'm glad I did it. It was worth it. So after all of that, I needed a couple of palette cleanses, and I decided I needed a couple of t-shirts, a couple of basics that I can wear with jeans, trousers, and I went for the Tilly and the Buttons Nora top. I've gone for the t-shirt version. They've got a couple of different versions. This is more of like a jumper with a funnel neck, but I've just gone for the basic t-shirt, and you can't go wrong with it really, can you? I made this a couple of years ago and I have worn it to the point it now has holes in, so I needed a couple of new t-shirts. I just wanted something that felt nice that I could chuck on with jeans, especially at the weekend when I'm just chilling. And yeah, this is lovely. So this fabric is actually a French terry that I picked up at the Stitch Festival last year, not the one this year, the one last year, and this was in the Higgs and Higgs remnant bins. There's always a good thing to be found in those remnant bins. I think there was a meter, maybe 1 meter 20, something like that, and I managed to get it out of that. And yeah, it's lovely. Because it's a French terry, it is obviously a little bit thicker and a little bit warmer, so it's better for the slightly cooler days of the summer when you're going to be wearing jeans. This pattern comes in a size 1 to 8, which is a UK size 6 to 20. I made a size 6 at the neck at the top and the bust, and then I graded out to a size 8 at the hips. That's all there is to say about this one, really. It's great. The only thing I would probably change is the neckline. I don't mind the neckline, but I would prefer it just a little lower, I think. But I cut out 2 of these and did a batch sewing session, so I'll go and pop the other one on to show you that as well. So this is the other version. This is the Floating Clouds cotton jersey that was in June's luxury SewHayleyJane boxes. Again, a super simple, easy breezy t-shirt. For some reason, I really feel the neckline on this one, so I might go and alter this one. I don't mind it so much in the French terry for some reason, so I might go and just scoop it out a little bit. But yeah, it's such an easy t-shirt to make and to wear, so for a palette cleanser, I really recommend it. Now I had, I think, 2.5 meters of this fabric. When we were cutting it all out for the boxes, I grabbed a bit to take to make a couple of t-shirts out of. So I've made this one, and then I've also made the Sew Over It Ultimate t-shirt, which I will go and pop on now. This is the other version. So this is the Sew Over It Ultimate t-shirt. Again, another tried and tested pattern for me. Instantly that neckline feels so much better on me. I feel like I can breathe. I really, really love this t-shirt. This is a more fitted style of t-shirt. And it comes, again, it comes in 2 size bands. I made the largest size band, which includes bust start, so it gives a little bit more fitting and shaping as well, which I absolutely love. I graded out to the hips, which, because of the style of the pattern, is very much like this. So it kind of, I needed to like smooth the sides out a little bit. Otherwise, it kind of, it's hard to press. It's hard to make that sit right. But yeah, it's lovely. I love it. I cut the sleeves sort of at elbow length, which feels really comfortable for me. I didn't want the full length because I wanted this specifically to be something to wear in the summer. And I made this in mind to wear underneath my heyday dungarees, or maybe worn with like a denim skirt, tucked into a denim skirt. It is a bit too long. I think I need to shorten it by a couple of centimeters or an inch, something like that, if I'm going to wear it with jeans. But tucked into something, it's a really good length for that. So yeah, not much else to say about this one. That's it. Before I continue, I just wanted to take a moment for our wonderful sponsors. Me! I run SewHayleyJane, which is a sewing subscription box that I set up to help inspire other like-minded home sewists. Every month I send out beautifully themed and curated boxes full of stunning dressmaking fabrics, patterns, sewing gifts, and a magazine full of inspiration every single month. The website will be open from the 3rd to the 25th of July for you to get your first box in August, so head to the link below to check it all out. Okay, after those lovely palette cleansers, I was ready to go in with something a little bit more, that needed a little bit more thought. Enter the Tilly and the Buttons Thea Trousers. This gorgeous pattern was included in March's luxury SewHayleyJane boxes. And the fabric that I've made them in is a chambray that was in the classic boxes of the same month. The fabric that went with this pattern in the boxes is a really beautiful emerald green cotton linen, which I would really love to make another pair in that fabric out of this. So the chambray version I am calling a wearable toile. There's definitely some things that I need to work out with this one. But worn as they are, they're good. They fit fairly well. So the pattern is a wide leg trouser with multiple pocket variations. So you've got a pocket at the front with a pocket bag. At the back you can choose either a patch pocket or a welt pocket. For this version I decided no pocket at the back. This is only the second time of sewing a zip fly for me. The first time was on a jeans making course, so I had a helping hand. So I was a little bit nervous and I put it off for a little while, but actually once I got going with it, following Tilly's instructions, there's also a QR code to a video where you just watch the sewing of a fly zip, and you can just pause, watch that bit, pause, sew it, watch, pause, sew it, and actually it came together really easily in the end. I was really super proud until I put a hole in the fabric and I was devastated. So the pattern instructions, this is the only thing I would change. The pattern instructions tell you to finish the trouser seam and, finish the seam allowance of the zip facing and the leg seam together after you've sewn it. But the zip so I was doing it on the overlocker, and the zip got in the way, so it all kind of bunched up and it just did not sew properly on the overlocker. The finished seam was horrendous. So I decided to unpick it, and that is when I accidentally put a hole right underneath the zip in the fabric of the trousers. I was so sad. So when I come to sew these again, I will finish those pieces. I will finish the leg seam at the front crotch seam and the fly facing seam. I'll finish those bits first separately and then sew them together. That's the only thing that I would change of the process. But yeah, the pattern is lovely. I think there is a little bit of pulling. So I made, the pattern comes in a size 1 to 15. So this is in their extended size range, which is a UK size 6 to a size 34. And I made a size, what did I do? A size 9 at the waist and then graded out to a 12 at the hips. But it was the pockets that threw me a little bit, because the pocket bags become part of the front leg. So they're not side seam pockets, they become part of the leg. So trying to get that to grade was quite tricky. I don't know if I did it right. I think I did okay. However, it's kind of pulling at the front, kind of strangely. So along the waistline, it is pulling, the pockets kind of pull in a little bit. There's also a few drag lines here and there. So what I think I need to do is add a little extra depth to the crotch and the seat. I have a big bum, I have a big belly. They need a little extra accommodation. So that's what I need to do, because it is, as Esme would say, it's a bit hungry in the bum. And I don't want it hungry in the bum, and I definitely don't want it hungry in the crotch either. That's not the look we're going for. But I think I'm going to start off with those for my next version. I'm just going to add maybe 2 centimeters of extra width or depth. I need to look into it because this isn't an alteration that I have done before. So I'm going to need to look into that. Now, the other thing, I'm hoping this will fix the problem, but I've got some drag lines at the inside of my knees. It's sort of, the whole seam is sort of pulling up a little bit in the knees. As I move, it kind of rights itself, but you can see that it's kind of, yeah, it's pulling up at the knees on the inside. So I'm hoping it's just that I need the extra room in the crotch, and it will then loosen, it will release the rest of the leg seam. That's what I'm hoping. We shall see. I might try and start with my next version by omitting the front pockets altogether and just having back pockets. That might be something to consider. However, I don't feel like I can put my phone in my back pocket as easily as I can the front pocket. That's just a me thing, maybe. So yeah, I think in order to get the fit right, I'm going to omit the front pockets and sew the trousers without pockets. Get the fit right, and then maybe I can reintroduce the pockets on the next one, because I feel like having a good pair of trousers that fit you well is like something we all need. Jeans and trousers. And because you can use lightweight fabrics, like this chambray is just perfect for this time of year. It's really comfortable to wear. A linen as well. I want a pair in white linen, I want a pair in black linen, I want a pair in all the different fabrics. So yeah, I feel like this is worth investing the time in. The Hughes dress, as I said, I probably won't make again. but I feel like these trousers, I can see hopefully what I need to do and I can fix them. And yeah, I think this is worth investing the time in. So there you go. Those are the things that I have made so far. Summer has only just started and I have ideas. I have so many ideas of things that I want to make throughout the rest of the summer. But those are just a few things that I have made so far. Thank you so much everyone for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful day, and I will see you all soon. Bye.